All right, it's August 17th, 2021. So I heard this morning some Pentagon official guy standing. The only reason why I say official is because he had a big sign behind him that said Pentagon, so I'm assuming it's official. He had a suit on though, so I don't know what that means. It wasn't a uniform thing with a lapel bling. It was more of just whatever. So that guy said, and he didn't have a name at the bottom of the screen, so I don't know what his name was, but his face looks familiar, like I've seen him speak before or referenced before, but I do not know his name in particular because it wasn't referenced. He said something about Afghan and the U.S. Air Force and something, and then he said something about a P1 or a P2 visa, and I'm like, what? P1, P2? I was like, all right, so now, of course, I have to go use electronic devices, so I asked Lynn if I could borrow her iPad for a second. And it comes up that a P1 and a P2 are for the shitbag kids that do entertainment and athletics. Right, okay, so might have worked when I was a kiddo if I had an American supervisor, which they claim they offer. So, but in order to get then an American supervisor to explain the dumb fucking and useless system, you have to fill out a form, it says, called DS-158. So it's it's alpha beta DS, and then it's alphanumerics 158. So I go on there and I ask Lewis if he would print it out for me. I did notice, however, there's nowhere to send it. It said you have to send it to Alphabet NC or NVC, the National Visa Center. Well, there's no physical address for a National Visa Center. Then they said that there's some email, but they only take comments. So, and who's checking these things? Because I really have no faith in the State Department or the American government or the United States at this point, since they failed so miserably my last 43 years and Linda's entire 70. All right, so now there's some editable form on the internet, but it prints out all jumbled up, and at first it changes from portrait to landscape, and this is how it prints. How much money did the federal government give the shitbag fucking states in order to create this garbage system that the actual Pentagon doesn't even fucking abide by? I'm just curious. So now I tell Lewis, I said, please go to the second form, Lewis, since this one keeps printing landscape and all garbled. So he did. And it prints out, see, it has some kind of official looking symbol there. Then it says this, and then it's got that, but you know what I don't see anywhere? I don't see any place to send this garbage paperwork within the system that you shitbags keep promoting to the public like it's gonna fucking work. So now I go to, so there's no NVC to send it. There's no anything on the actual documents. I'm in the state of New York. I mean, I'm even questioning, is there such a thing as the state of New York? Because it doesn't look like it. And although that's what is commissioned on my driver's license and my ability to drive a motor vehicle. So there's a curious feature. But now there's no American supervisors. There's no American U.S. embassies. There's no U.S. State Department or American anything anywhere in the local area. There's a U.S. post office at Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361, but it's run by the federal something or other, and they just take a mailing of an envelope with a stamp on it. They're not real useful in there. So now, where exactly do kids that fall out of vaginas in this Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361, as they grow and then are forced to have carbon copies that look like Denmark and Copenhagen and Scandinavia, fall out of their bodies because the disgusting men in the local area can't keep their hands to themselves? At what point does that person actually get to speak to somebody that knows some stuff? Just curious. You keep something in a prison its entire life, say that it has freedom, liberty, and it's part of something, but yet nothing exists except a couple of guys that get dressed up like movie actors on a TV screen, and then they put a big symbol over their head, and that symbol's supposed to be really important, but, like, how do I know? Because you then allow things to go on like this with no policing and with no actual benefit or product that has been useful for the people. So how much merit did you really, like, adorn yourself in, and why? So now, this visa process doesn't work. Just, there's no, I mean, like, there's no process in this. Where is the benefit, and where do you find an American supervisor? Do they actually exist? And how does one access one when the visa application you want to print out has no, it's not even worth the paper that I would attempt to fill out? Star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. But yet somehow some people get paid and have a job every day. I also heard on the news right before the Pentagon thing, on the New York City Local Council of Shitbags, they put on, like, what I call QVC, but it's public access. They're taking $1 billion into New York City, and they're only going to create 40,000 jobs with life sciences. That is, like, the worst ratio. You took $1 billion and only created 40,000 jobs? Shouldn't it be like $1 billion gives a salary of 40,000 to however many people? I mean, that would make more sense, but instead they have it completely backwards. What the hell is the point of having 40,000 jobs? And who is handing those jobs out? And how do you even find that information out at a city level, since the state's a fucking disaster? Just curious. August 16th or 17th? August 7th. It's Tuesday, August 17th, 2021. I'm Century 19, year 78, in a Century 20, year 21.